it can't be scripted. That's just not how it works.
Yeah, we don't do scripts here.
Scripted intros, yeah, nice one.
Well, speaking of which, we are already recording, so welcome to 0 to 60, everyone. As ever, I've got this lovable big sauce with me.
Hello.
And the Demon Ranger himself. Hi, guys.
Hi. You listeners managed to miss out on Liam's wonderful intro where he just couldn't help but tell us how he feels about us. So unlucky, we ended up re-recording, which is such a shame.
It is, but to be honest, if they haven't worked out by this point what Liam thinks of us, then I don't think they've been paying him for that much attention.
That's fair.
Fair and reasonable. So what's new, chaps? What's going on? We're December. Dynasty been out a while. How are you boys holding up?
Yeah, pretty good. I mean, it's a bit quiet on kind of the new Flesh and Blood stuff, really, right? It's we're a bit between tournaments at the moment. I mean, there's been a couple in there in the US, but yeah, there's not too much changing really.
Liam, how about you?
That's where I get going. Give me.
Liam's not excited about Christmas. Fuck that ProQuest season. That's where he's.
Christmas. I just want to fucking play Flesh and Blood.
ProQuest is his Christmas.
I'm not.
Sorry, he's got a New Year's resolution this year. Win something.
No.
No, you're not winning something. In that case.
No. That's just goal in general. That's not a New Year's resolution. I'm not going into my fucking opinions on New Year's resolution. Just go fuck yourself, George. Fishing.
So, if anyone does happen to bump into Liam at any of the ProQuests, ask him what his New Year's resolution is. He'll really enjoy it, and also call him Big Sauce.
Well, and also he won't be fulfilling it anyway because you'll beat him because he's not going to win events anymore apparently.
No, well, it wasn't his New Year's resolution to win, so
that's it. He doesn't want to win.
I'm just a pair of fucking idiots.
So, just to recap, that's basically what the intro was that we didn't record. It just took us an extra minute to get there. So, what's on the docket today, gents? What are we talking about?
Isn't that your job? Does that us?
I don't know. Well, it usually is, but sometimes I might fancy a night off.
Don't ask me.
If you have a night off, goodness me.
Well,
I mean, we have had some changes in the fan world, right? I think, as I mentioned before, we've had some tournaments happen, so we've got to see some Dynasty actually play. Because I think last time we recorded, it would have been pretty much just as it came out. So, I guess we could to maybe discuss a little bit about what we thought about Dynasty, how it's affected the heroes, and how everything looks now, and how the meta is settled.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good place to start, and then a section. To be honest, I think we might have to rely on Liam a little bit for this one, because obviously we've seen that the new set's already been announced in terms of its name and where it is. So probably some rampant speculation as to outsiders and what will be involved.
That was worth that segment there just to see the look of panic on Liam's face when he said we'd have to rely on him. It was quite something. We do need to get a video up and running, purely so the viewers can get to see this as well.
Well, there could have been videos tonight, but unfortunately, viewers are feeling a little bit poorly and want to be fixed, ready for the weekend. So
yeah, that unfortunately is my fault. Yeah, so sorry about that.
Yeah. It's okay. I like how Liam's playing that violin, and it's so quiet, even I can't hear it. But so let's. I think we all played a bit of Arachne now. We've all played a bit of Assassin.
We have. You were the last one to do it. What just today and Tuesday.
Yeah, busted out the armory, and it's having now played it. I really wanted to sort of do a more aggro-y version of it rather than the sort of fatigue plan. I think the fatigue plan is probably the right one. I think some of the new cards are really good fun. It doesn't feel overpowered. I think you said it last episode, Liam. It feels very mid in terms of its power output.
Yeah, I think they've done a really good job of actually bringing out a hero for once that isn't absolutely fucking insane. So, good job.
Yeah, I don't think the hero is insane. I just think I think he might be. I think this might fall slightly into a later segment, but I think if we see, presumably we will in Outsiders, some more assassin stuff, I think he could very quickly become much higher up in the tiers. I mean, every card they printed from so far is absolutely solid, and that's what makes him pretty good now, despite the fact that his card pool is tiny. It's like what, 20 odd cards, something like that, and yet he plays nearly exclusively his own stuff in the more control version. It's not like a just big pile of generics like Icelander
Yeah.
was. You're not trying to pummel everything, much to Liam's slight
Chagrin.
disappointment. I was going to say chagrin, but I thought you might be angry at me for big words.
Such a knob.
Oh, you say that. I didn't even say that to annoy you. That's honestly what went through my head when I thought about saying chagrin. But it's just the impact you've had on me, mate. I'm sorry.
I mean, without delving too early into the rampant speculation, I think the main thing, obviously, there's a bit of equipment. Like the arms, always seems to be the slot that I'm like, whether it's Goliath Gauntless or Iron Rot or whatever, depends how you're playing. And then something other than his shinies, the Spider's Bites, I think as well. But that's all these things because I love the hero. I love how thematic it is, and it's really fun actually just seeing people have a massive discard banish pile.
Yeah, it really puts a lot of impetus on your opponent as well. I think particularly what makes him really playable and really good is just the power of those majestic attacks. Like the game, to me at least, feels so different if the Arachne player sees all of their M's like pretty early. If they see Eradicates and Leave No Witnesses and Surgical Extractions in the first cycle, and they see them at the right time when they can play them all, God, it feels so much worse. When you get two of those in a turn compared to just being hit with Plunder the Poor or all the other particularly alliterative ones.
I mean, I do owe Ash an apology when I hit him with an Eradicate, which hit him for 10 with
that's rude.
With the old Mask of Perdition on it, just banish 11 cards. Like he's good. I think probably won't see much from it. Might see some play in PQ season, but I think he's almost too new and the card pool's not quite big enough yet to be able to.
Yeah, I think maybe if the meta was a little different, I think he's unfortunately got a couple of just bad matchups that are going to be in PQ season. I can see Liam nodding away frantically on this, so I'm sure he'll have more to say on it, and has got more experience on Arachne than I have, to be fair.
I think you've nailed it. I think if it was a completely different meta, Arachne would fit in way better than he does. His bad matchups are obviously Dromai, and I think I don't think the ninjas are very good matchups for him, as much as people keep telling me that they are. When I'm pretty sure they don't. Fi's just got a way of sneaking damaging constantly, and if you always have to hold a 0 for 4 to fatigue Fi and try and bottom his combo pieces, quote unquote. The Art of Wars and the Spreading Flames, the Belittles or whatever. I just don't think there's enough to fatigue Fi consistently. The same with Katsu, I think, is the same principle.
Yeah, honestly, if Oldhim can't really fatigue Fi, I'm not really sure who can. And considering he goes more aggro on the whole, presents on hit effects, try and stop him. I'm not quite sure what Arachne is going to do when losing one or two cards. Probably isn't the biggest thing for him.
Yeah.
So should we move on to Azalea? Let's do alphabetical order on the heroes.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, we can. What are your guys' opinion on Azalea? Let's go.
Pass.
Wow.
I don't. I mean, she always is going to feel like she needs a little bit more. But I think if they are going to do more of the aim counter stuff in the future, whether it's the next set or whether it's one further down the line, I do think she's got some tools. I quite like some of them. The bow's interesting, whether you run it over Death Dealer or not, but we do have a Ranger aficionado in the room, so.
Do we?
No, that's a good question. I'm not sure. Who have you invited along?
I thought someone else was there. Never mind.
Fair enough. No, that's reasonable. But yeah, I guess on my opinion on it. I mean, from what you said, Brooks, the bow I like. It's fun. It's so close to being good. It is. I'm not sure it's actually good, but it's so close to being, and it is fun. If there's a lot of versions of that bow that would have made it good, but I don't think we're actually quite at that. So, as for aim counters, honestly, I'm still kind of a bit pissed off at the fact that they are what they are, where you've got a blank arrow unless it's got an aim counter, which is a bit of a shame.
But if they release more ways to put aim counters onto arrows, does that make them better?
No, probably not, because then if you still don't draw them with that, I mean, maybe if we can consistently, right? The trouble is.
What about as a reaction, put an aim counter on it?
I mean, that'd be nice to have. Like, Ranger reactions in general would be nice. It'd be nice to have some reactions that. Don't get me wrong, Rain Razors is nuts, but it's only good in a go wide build. So it'd be nice to have like an Azalea specific, kind of reaction that would be quite good as well.
I mean, they'll still block 2.
I mean, if it blocks, that's better than any other one we've got so far. I mean, all you've got at the moment is Rain Razors and Lightning Press, and that's only obviously for Lexi. And neither of those block for shit. So apart from that, you have to run Razor Reflex.
That's true.
So, it'd be nice to have one. Sure, it'll block for 2, but what the fuck doesn't in Ranger that's not an arrow? Yeah. Though, actually, to be fair, we now actually have a couple more non-attack actions that do block 3. So
yeah. So, out of 5, what do you think? What do you rate her now?
Azalea in general?
Yeah.
Out of 5. I'll go 3 out of 5. I think she's improved. I'd put her at like a 2, maybe a 1 even before this. I think she's definitely improved. If we were in like a heavy aggro meta, maybe she'd actually be good enough. The on hits are horrible for people to deal with. We have got a little bit. We've got some decent arrows from the set, even without aim counts. Like Drill Shot's fantastic. It's a very good card. Slots into Lexi as well. Heat Seeker is pretty good. Particularly if you're running New Horizons, it's very, very good. But yeah, so I think I'd put her at a 3.
Liam,
2.2.
Otherwise known as pass.
Yeah, and we didn't do out of 5 for her. I think
we didn't. But what's your Azalea, Brooks? First of all,
I think she's a 2.5. I think she you've destroyed me with her at times. If you just get those red ledgers going, but
yeah, that is true. I mean, I think she also doesn't have to rely on red in the ledger quite as much as she used to, right? You're starting to get some arrows that are okay, and maybe it depends how much you build into the aim counter nonsense, which is kind of fun to do. I just don't think it's good because the times you don't hit, you're just like, well, this is shit.
Yeah. And then for Arachne, flavorful. Flavor-wise, it's getting a 5.
Oh, for flavor, yes, 100%.
I think Arachne, is very mid, so I think a 3 for me.
3.5.
I was going to say I'd give him a 4, right? I mean, I don't think he's actually kind of like he's not tier 2 or anything like that. He's probably like 1, maybe 1.5. So I mean, I think given that he's a new hero, looking at the size of his card pool, I think you got to give him a 4.
Yeah.
He's not great, but he's not going to be a top deck, but he's not far off.
No, he's not. He's not. Like I say, he's not bad. I think he could be very good. It's just taking that. They'll just need a couple of extra cards to get there. Let's move on to. Well, actually, for the first time ever, I don't think Guardian's really changed much, has it? So what's your rate Bravo at the moment? Did he get anything in this set?
He got Buckle, which is such a mid card.
Yeah, it's...
you got a Stalagmite kind of semi-replacement, right? You got your one-handed shield.
Yeah, you have to run a shit weapon.
Yes, I mean you're running it for the shield, right? Not for the other way around. I've seen people try and do it in fatigue, more fatigue kind of control stuff. I don't think it's good.
Titan's Fist and Season Savior, or
no, not Season Savior. The rare one, the
Steelblade Buckler.
Oh, is that what it is? It's still a buckler as well.
It is indeed.
Gives you some options at least.
If you're running Fatigue Bravo, you just run Rampart. So
yeah, that's true.
I think Bravo just literally just doesn't move whatsoever. People might play Buckle. I doubt it. It's not great.
Yeah, that's fair. Like I say, I don't think Bravo's changed. I don't think he's bad though. Still, I think he was good before.
He's probably at probably a 3.5.
Yeah, I'd probably about the same as Arachne.
Yeah, he's pretty good. I'd probably say a 3.5. I'm not sure that he's got enough to offer over Oldhim right now for people to pick him up. That's kind of, at least for me as a non-Guardian player, kind of it seemed to be that people were just going, why wouldn't I just play Oldhim? And seem to be picking up Oldhim, and I'm not sure that's changed in the slightest.
No. Well, seeing as Liam, we had our resident Ranger expert, you can be our resident Briar expert, considering you've run it quite a lot. What's Briar got in this set?
Crown and Dominion. Fucking so good.
You do love your Royal Briar, don't you?
I think that card is. I genuinely do think that card is really good. I think you don't run it all the time. I think it's you have Crown and Dominion, Crown of Providence in your deck, and you play the hat when you want to block. And on the games where you get to do something, you have to play your game plan a little bit more freely against like Dromai. Uh, I actually would play Dominion versus Oldhim. There's a few other decks I'd definitely play Dominion to. But I think the cash in with half a go again, netting you a card, draws 2, but it nets you +1, and then being able to go into insanely busted turns is really, really good. I think it's definitely positive.
And the fact it breaks Frostbite, so if Icelander,
Yep.
if Oldhim, if Lexi start doing stuff, because of obviously it's a replacement cost, you don't pay anything, you still just pay the 4 copper or the 2 silver, or in this case the 1 gold. I think you had that interaction on Talishar, didn't you, George?
Yeah,
You
I
ruined
mean,
someone's day.
if somehow some poor ranger player that I high roll the crap out of is listening to this, I am sorry, particularly to a fellow ranger player. Um, every time he gave me frostbites, including one that was just like 4 frostbites after he'd hit me with stuff, and then played an Arctic Incarceration, so it was like 4 or 5. I just get to play cash in and cash in and just ignore them all and draw cards because that's fair and balanced. Um, it's a bit of a rude interaction, to be fair.
Yeah, I think I mean, a lot of the new cards, like you had the Diabolical Ultimatum. I think Cryptic Crossing sneaking into a few lists.
I like Cryptic. I keep. Maybe I want to like Cryptic, but I think the card offers something a little bit different. It's still an on-hit. It is expensive, but especially with the synergy with Bramble Spark, I think the card can become very powerful because it can it can strip cards as well as deal damage. So I think it's an interesting one. I've been trying it out. I'm still not settled on it, but
I think the discussion around the other day actually was quite apt. I think it kind of sort of reminds me somewhat of Blossoming Spellblade. It's that card that it looks so good on paper. The effect is unreal, but it's whether and how consistently you can pull that off. And I suppose obviously at least you don't have to build your entire deck around it like you have to for blossoming, which is probably the reason why it may end up being in like list of why you've been able to get some use out of it.
yeah, I think your Bride decks are built mainly 50-50 anyway. So, and obviously you do run enough blue for it to be able to pitch your like red attack, blue non-attack kind of situation,
Yeah,
or your red non-attack and your blue attack. It's works either way.
Out of 5, gents.
4.5.
Is this where Briar sits or the Runeblade stuff in general? Because
Well, let's stick with Briar. We'll do it on a hero by hero
4.5.
basis.
he's very, very high on it. I think Briar. I don't think Brian Wilson was never bad really. So I think I'll go for a 4.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm more leaning towards a 4.5. I don't think she'll survive this PQ season. She's always been a good deck. A couple of the new cards, like you say, a couple might slip in, but I don't think we'll have to worry about her and Rosetta Thorn for much longer.
Oh, that's the dream. I mean, here's hoping, right? The next PQ season should be absolutely terminal for Briar, and more importantly for Rosetta Thorn. Let's just get that gone.
Although rumours that Chain might be appearing in the next set, but we'll come on to that.
At least he won't have Rosetta. Fuck off.
Yeah. Dash next on the docket.
I think you should lead on this one, Brooks. You've been playing a bit of Dash.
I've really enjoyed Dash. I think from a fun perspective, cards like the Mechanoid are great. You know, when you eventually get that turn off where you do it into high octane and swing it. I mean, I still apologise this day when I did it to you, George, and hit you for, was it 24? I think I swung it 4 times after like 3 0 to 60s or something like that.
You did, and annoyingly, you wouldn't block with your mech, you coward, because you knew I'd shred it.
Yeah, you were running Arachne, so you did deserve that. I couldn't block.
I did have the red shredded arsenal at the time.
I was not willing to YOLO on that. But then I think even from a competitive standpoint, I think the 2 battle hardened we've had since Dynasty, she's won.
She's not just one as well, right? I think she's been in the finalists in multiple of them on both sides of the table.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, like I feel like she's been the biggest winner from Dynasty
100%.
by some way. The mech's great, but just look at the other cards that she got.
Pulse Wave Harpoon's nuts.
It's incredible, absolutely crazy card. Once you start getting that onto Chain Link 3, just being able to look at the vast majority of your opponent's hand. I mean, if you do it on 4, you're basically looking at all of it on the normal turn, and yeah, being able to pull something out of it is backbreaking for a lot of heroes, particularly when they've already taken damage on Chain Links like 1 through 3.
And then you got stuff like BIOS update. It's just a +3 out of 0 to 60 for 7 for free. If you do happen to boost an item, great. But I think even if you are running stuff like Hyperdrive, which I'm not sure the lists were, well, stuff like Jumpstart then just becomes free.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I like BIOS update's fantastic. Early on when I think Liam Canning turned up to when I was playing Arachne, I lost a game to him, and the only reason I pretty much lost that game was he BIOS updated a pounder into play, and it was like, okay, but that changes the game a little bit. Here's a free pounder midway through your turn.
Yeah, that'll
Obviously
do it.
It doesn't trigger, but it's next turn. It was like, okay, shit, I'm going to start taking a fuck ton of damage.
But yeah, I think Pulse Wave Harpoon, like single-handedly, with some of the a couple of the other tools thrown in, I like the blaster as well. It's probably the only overpower weapon I actually like.
Yeah, it seems pretty good. You get it for doing part of the game plan, I think, in the matches that you want to play it in. I don't know whether or not it will end up being in the vast majority of Dash decks, whether they'll lean more control, or whether that'll be in as a sideboard plan. I don't know. I'm not a proficient Dash player, so.
But I'd put Dash at the 4.5 mark at the moment. I think she's really good.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, maybe it's underselling it. Like, if we look at the recent tournaments, maybe. I mean, this is maybe where we've got the slight flaw of only going to having a 1 to 5, 0 to 5, rather than a 0 to 10. Just because, I mean, also we're missing a trick here. This should at least be 0 to 6, right? But anyway, we, I feel like maybe that's harshing on Dash a little bit. If Briar's at a 4.5, I think Dash should be above that. Based on the recent tournament results, do you think she's lower?
I think I'd put Dash at a 4. I'm not high on this deck like other people are.
I mean, how do you explain the recent results then? I guess is the question.
I mean,
we've had this conversation.
Do you think this is a regional thing?
Could be. It's like they're just battle hardened, right? Like, yes, they are significant events, but it's not a Pro Tour. It's not the same standard in my eyes. So I think a deck winning a Pro Tour carries a way more significant weight than a deck. Like, obviously, I know you top-ed both battle hardens. It's fine. Like, I think the deck is good. I just don't think the deck is as good as what it's performing. I think it's overperforming.
So here's the question: who picks up more Living Legend points this season, Briar or Dash?
I mean, so you mean just over the PQ season?
Yeah, just over this season, because Briar doesn't need many to well out, but we'll still find out what the total is.
It's an interesting.
I think it could be Dash, and that might not be because Briar isn't better. That might well just be that I think that maybe people are a little higher on Dash and are more likely to show up with. I think we'll see more Dash in the season than Briar, which I think might translate to more points for her.
Reasonable. On to Dory.
Oh well, I mean, we know who's got to start, so go ahead, Liam.
Exactly.
I think Dory's pretty good. I think she got better, slightly better. Not massive jump, but I think she got slightly better. I think she already had a good fire matchup, right, which set really nicely with her. I think the Icelander matchup's a bit shaky. I think the Dromai matchup is shaky depending on the Dromai's knowledge of the matchup, and I think the Oldin matchup's fucked.
Oh yeah.
So I think it takes a bit of a stupid Oldin to go wild and try and outrace Dory, which just does not work. But I think she's probably, she definitely got a bit better. I think she'll see a bit more play. I think people that know how to play her, like Brooks, will do pretty well with her. But apart from that, yeah, nothing to say.
So yeah,
I think that's the nicest thing. That's the nicest thing you ever said to me, Liam.
Well, go on then, Brooks. Now we've heard from Liam. Let's hear your educated opinion on Dory.
I think there's only really 2 cards make it into the deck now. Ironsong Pride is verging on busted in that deck. Just flashing in a counter. I think Flukenbox did a video. I think they worked out if you've got all 3 in your deck, you've got 20% of chance of seeing them on your turn 1. It's an instant. Do it on your opponent's turn. Start swinging for 4. I think Puncture just as a nice little tool, especially in someone like a Arachne with getting their equipment back. But also, what's nice, if you see your opponent running Merciless Battle Axe, you know they're an idiot. So there's a nice little addition to that. So, sorry, Merciful Battle Axe, because it's being incredibly merciful. But yeah, I'm also going to try out a couple. I think you enjoy playing the Dagger Saber build, didn't you, George, the other night?
Yeah, I've just been trying it out recently. I've enjoyed it. Yeah, no, to what you said, Brooks. I think there's a couple of nice cards in there for Dory. Ironsong Pride. I also quite like I've been quite liking the blue Precision Press as well, actually. Yeah. And Puncture, I think, are all pretty solid. But yeah, I've been enjoying the Saber Dagger build too. Which I think is, whether or not it's actually better than Dawnblade, I kind of doubt, and who knows? But it's a fun and interesting build that probably need to explore a little more. Maybe it is, who knows? But I'm not seeing the evidence for it yet. I don't think.
I might try. I also might try. I don't think it'd be good, but Felling Swing with hatchets.
Yeah, I have a feeling that probably won't be great.
I don't think it will, but it'll be fun.
I can give it a go. Crack out your spill bloods.
Exactly. I think Dory was probably like a 2 before. Like, basically, I think Liam said everything needs to be said on a position into the meta. I think this does bump her a little bit. I think maybe about a 3.
I think you were being a little harsh on her before, to be honest. I don't think she was in a terrible spot for the last season that we've just seen. Like, people did perform reasonably well. She had reasonable matchups. She had some bad ones, but then who didn't last meta? I feel like it was pretty good for that. There wasn't any just one hero has got the best matchup in the room. Yeah. The best series of matchups in the room. I think she was pretty reasonable. I'd have probably given her a 3 then. Maybe a 3.5. But I don't think she's moved up. I think she's probably just kept pace with other people. Like, Pride is busted, but I'm not sure it's actually more busted than what the other people have got that keeps them, up there.
It's enough to keep her at least keeping up. Like you say, it's moving forward. If you're staying still, you're moving backward, kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
I give her a 3. A nice solid 3. She was 2.5. She went to a 3.
I think that's reasonable. On to Dromai.
Deck's not changed whatsoever.
Yeah, I've not seen people even running the new Ashes.
I think that's because they're bad on the whole.
Well, yeah.
I think the deck's good, by the way. I genuinely do think the deck's good. I just think it's just got a fucked ninja matchup, right, which is the big problem. And I don't know about the Runeblade matchup. I think Runeblade's still favoured because it gets to do it gets to cheat its on hits against dragons, which is a bit stupid. But I think Dromai is a solid deck. It's not as polarized as Prism. It's a bit more fair, but still has good enough matchups to be considered to take to a tournament.
Yeah, like I said, I've not seen anyone running the dust or it's dusts from the Golden and Red Desert.
Fuck using deck slots on them.
Well, again, you're not seeing people running them, and I don't see it. It's not changed at all. So, what do you think she was before? About a 3.5. Yeah. I think she's exactly the same now. I don't think it's pushed her, but I also don't think she's lost pace on anyone.
Unless you're Scott and you're playing Irish Dromai. Fuck great in that deck.
Yeah, well, that doesn't count. Scott.
That's a bit unto itself, isn't it? Really, I think.
Much like Scott.
Yes.
A law unto himself.
I agree. I don't think I can add more than what you guys have said. I don't think it gained a lot from this set or anything really.
Buy?
Deck's still good. Didn't change a thing.
Nope.
Yeah, again, I think exactly the same, right? I mean, like the deck's still well positioned, as Liam said, and it didn't gain anything.
Yeah, again, it's for me. It's still at 4.5.
4.5.
Yeah.
4.5 seems fair.
It gets to cheap without a warm little. Fuck that deck.
Yeah, Belittle can get fucked. Icelander.
Deck didn't change a thing. Still
Nope.
solid. Still boring as fuck.
Scott is literally shaking his
No,
fist.
the thing
if
is,
he's
right,
listening to this.
the thing is, Scott knows. Like, if you're playing like the Red Bull, Red Bull, fuck me, Wounded
Red
Bull.
Bull.
I need a Red Bull. The Wounded Bull deck is it's boring as fuck. Like, I'll say it. A lot of people thinking it, but it's the best version of Icelander, so you had to play it. Deck solid.
Yeah.
Still exactly where it was in the meta. Probably a 4. Maybe 4. Probably a 4, right? Like, I don't think it's. Is it that good? I don't know.
I mean, obviously, it's hard to argue it's not good after just watching a world championship win with the deck, right? But
Is it 4.5?
Well, that was
Uh,
that was Liam's exact point before that. Worlds and PTs give these decks credence, whereas Battlehounds don't. So by this standard, it has to be a 5.
he should think it's a 5. The thing is though, I kind of agree that I'm not actually sure it's the best deck in the format.
Maybe Michael Hamilton's just cracked. I don't know.
Maybe that's
no,
it.
he is. It's just, yeah, I don't think it's the best deck, but it's.
But again, I think that was kind of what I was trying to say before, right? I think the last format didn't necessarily have somebody that was. We weren't in a Starvo meta. We weren't in, when Prism or Chain was the best deck, and that was just it. And they had like just some absolute buys of a match. I just don't think that meta was really there. Everyone had some pretty bad matchups, and Icelander chief among them.
But out of 5, Liam, obviously it has to be a 5 for you from your point before.
Imagine listening to me. Like, imagine taking your time out of your day to listen to me talk.
Oh, we do listen, just so that we can
That's
point out your hypocrisies.
That's our last listener gone, signed off.
I'm giving it a 4. Fuck what I said before. Michael Hamilton's cracked. It's not Icelander. Never said it.
I'd agree with that. I can easily buy a 4. Nothing's changed. I don't think she's lost anything on anyone either.
Yeah, I mean, others have got cards, right? But I don't think it's been enough to really bridge a huge gap there. I'd still be happy with a 4 or 4.5. I think. I don't think anyone's a 5 at the moment.
No. Let's move on to Kano. And sorry, Charlie, Mindstorm is not a real thing.
I think Soul Tidings is a good card.
Swell Tidings is a very good card.
I actually think all the Surge cards are pretty good.
They are, yeah. I 100% agree with that. I think they're all pretty good upgrades to just stuff that you would have in the deck otherwise. They're not huge upgrades, right? I think this is the thing for Kano. He got like a lot of stuff that's just like, oh, this will replace this other very similar card in the deck. 95% of the time, it might not do anything different, but that one time that my opponent doesn't want to take damage, I can punish them with Aether Quickening. Or whatever.
It doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like anything particularly moves on the dial. Obviously, all the surge stuff, whether it's gains go again or creates ponder tokens, it still plays into the same game plan that they're going to try and kill you with Faith of Wildfire.
Yeah, these just make it slightly more punishing to not block any when you take, like when they Crucible.
Yeah. It gives them a bit more reach on their own turn, I guess, because you don't want to give something go again. You don't want to let them have a ponder token or take energy counters off the sap. So.
I mean that's true, right? But then if you're gonna do that and you're running AB and they Aether Quickening on their turn and Crucible, you block one of it. If you have to. If you think they're going to come in with something else, if they're not, you just block however much you want of that, and it removes that go again anyway. And let's be fair, on the Aether Wildfire turn, who cares? Who cares if they have a sap that's going to take away your tunic counter? You just take your tunic counter first because you were taking it anyway. And if it's not ready, like okay, if you live through the turn, that's an achievement.
Yeah,
so
exactly. I don't think it's maybe giving it an extra point or two here and there, but
I mean,
I think
maybe I'm underselling Aether Quickening actually. Go again at instant speed is something to be.
Yeah, but
it's pretty scary, particularly on a wildfire turn actually.
But they can only do that. You can only gain go again on your turn. And if
That's
you're doing
true.
that with Aether Wildfire, it doesn't work.
Yeah, that is true.
On
Yeah,
your,
of course.
on
That is a very fair point. You can't at least gain an action point with it.
That otherwise that would be busted. So out of 5, if he feels like he's
2.
about this, I was going to go 3. Or maybe a bit generous.
I'll go 2. This is where George splits the difference with a 2.5.
I mean that would be a reasonable place to be. No, I mean I'm gonna sit at a 2 as well. I don't think he's the best wizard out there. I'm not really sure who his good matchups are at the moment. Honestly,
Yeah. And people are taking AB because Icelander's that big, and like I say, if you outside of your Mr. Fahey, the disgusting wizard, as dubbed by DM Armada, you're probably taking Icelander.
yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Is he bad? Are you still going to lose games to Kano? Sure,
Yeah, you will. Of course you will.
You'll still lose games. Aether Wildfire's always going to be, will always make him disgusting, and do crazy things. But no, I don't think he's particularly well placed in the meta.
Cool. Let's move on to Katsu. Probably the most changed.
I think so. Yeah. This might also, I think, be like outside of obviously Arachne being new. This is probably the only archetype that we've really gained that's like a fully fledged different version. I suppose maybe the Mech Dash, but I don't know if that's viable yet.
No. Definitely not to the same extent, but yeah, obviously we got Kitty Katsu or Kit Kat, depending on how upset Liam gets with you, or how much you want to wind him up. Because you do love Kitty Katsu, don't you?
Fuck off.
That tells you everything you need to know about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I quite like it. It's more. I think it's more fun than like the standard Katsu. Obviously, it still does stupid stuff. Ash hit me with 12 tigers today in one turn, so I couldn't block out his tiger swipe. It does things.
Yeah, I mean the deck. I think the deck's actually really good. I don't think it's necessarily like top of the meta or anything, but and you do have whole hands that sometimes they like either do something or do nothing. But at the same time, like when the deck goes off, it really fucking goes. You can definitely do 2 salt the wounds in a turn for well north of 10 apiece. So that's nothing to be sniffed at.
If I hadn't banished both of all the salt wounds that Ash had, I lost that game. 100%.
Yeah, it honestly only takes one turn or one miss block with Katsu, with this version of Katsu to really mess things up. If your opponent doesn't know what they're doing playing into it, it can be really really difficult to block effectively on that turn.
Yep.
I mean,
but yeah, no, I think it's good.
The deck's essentially it's now it's like a combo Katsu, right? So it's just a different way of playing Katsu, like actually a combo Katsu where not using combo terminal like keywords to play the game. It's an actual combo
archetype of deck rather than
you want to see pieces right together. I think as someone who played a shit ton of Katsu a long time ago, I played it a little bit. Not a massive fan. Kind of bored me a little bit.
But you love combo decks.
You're an idiot. I don't know you're an idiot. I'll prove my point in it in 1 second why you're an idiot.
Oh, well.
But yeah, I think the deck. I'll give him a rate. I haven't give the rating, then I'll prove why you're an idiot. But the deck's probably about mid. There's definitely some matchups where it'll definitely win, and it's favoured. It's like I don't know how it's going to go into Oldhim. Definitely one that I want to explore. Well, apart from that, it's probably like a 3.
I'd say 2.5. I thought you think it's very mid. Like Katsu as a hero generally, he's obviously not really been in the meta recently. So whether this puts him there, I don't think so. But it's fun, and I think people will pick it up.
Yeah, I'm going to lean more towards Liam's 3. I think on that one. I think it's pretty good. Like I said, I don't know how it plays into the likes of Oldhim on the whole. I haven't tested it that deeply or anything else, and I have to test to want to play games against Oldhim because ugh. But still, yeah, I think it is good. It does well into certain matchups, but it also sometimes just does nothing because it's a combo deck. So whether it can be consistent enough at the moment, I don't know. So I'd go for a 3.
Scratch my previous statement. It's not you that said I'm the idiot. It's fine.
Why?
I'm not. We'll carry on.
No,
No,
go on.
we are carrying
No,
on.
we
We are carrying on. We're going
Why
on.
the idiot? Come on.
Next one, Levia.
No, we are going to hold
No,
up this
no,
podcast
no.
until you explain yourself.
Levia.
Levia.
Fuck
Yeah.
off.
It's definitely Levia, but sure.
It's Leviathan. But go on.
This is such a point for 060 to fall apart over. I'm sorry, this is the last podcast, so.
We just can't deal with the fact that Liam was calling us an idiot, then called himself an idiot. Wouldn't explain either point.
Nope.
Levia, what are we thinking? Is Berserker thing? We'll come on to right now.
Deck's bad. 1.5.
Deck bad.
Move on.
I mean, she also just didn't really get anything right.
No, I mean I'm all on the Levia's 1.5.
And maybe out of just deference to Scott, because I know and I know he loves certain like cards in the set. I don't think she got anything that's viable for the normal builds.
No, I think. I mean, more stuff for Rhinar maybe, but Levia no. Lexi, Ranger Boy.
Ranger Boy.
Wonderful, thank you. I don't think she really got anything outside of Heatseeker. Heatseeker is pretty damn good when you can with New Horizon, particularly when you can just give it a go again. So that's a really solid card for her. I'm just not sure what else she got that's even remotely viable.
Got point the tip.
No, I mean, why would you even play that? Just get out. Just leave.
Deadeye as well. You've done
Read the text. Read the text, Brooks.
Yeah, she can run Sandscour Bow. I'll stop winding you up now.
Sure.
Why are you taunting an ill man like this?
Because it's easy.
That's. I was going to say that's fair, but it's definitely not reasonable.
No. Out of 5.
I think where Lexi sits right now, I think I'm a bit low on her at the moment. Maybe a 2.5 to 3. I think honestly.
Do you think Azalea is above Lexi?
No, probably not. She's just got some more tools.
What about George? Lexi with belittle.
No.
So,
sorry, what?
So he's Ollie just crazy.
I thought we already established.
I just wanted to establish that.
The man loves potion shops.
Exactly right. Nothing against him because he does some cool stuff with it. But why would you?
I don't know.
Just why? Exactly.
I'm asking you. You're the Ranger aficionado. Why would you?
I mean, sure, you can basically chuck belittle into anything, right? But I don't really want to do. Why would you want to do it, Lexi?
So, I think I'd agree about 2.5, 3. Exactly the same as Azalea, really.
Yeah, I think maybe she's at a similar lane. I just don't think she's got particularly great matchups. The matchups they're good in are probably a bit different because I think unless you're going into like heavy disruption, you've not really got enough to slow down Fi. Because I mean most Fi players that I've known recently will just tell you that if they play against Lexi, you just block out the good turns and then pop off on the turns that she misses. And I think unless you're playing like the heavy disruption, that's fine. But then if you're playing a heavy disruption version, you've got bad matchups that you can't get around. So she's not. I don't think she's in a great place right now.
Yeah. What about the most boring hero, Oldhim?
What the fuck?
Let me take a nap. Here we go.
No, Oldhim takes a nap.
I can as well at the same time. It's fine.
Just puts himself in puts his big shield up as a tent, and just as I lie down, waits till you've got nothing left, and then just sort of flails his arm a bit. Sorry, go on, Liam.
No, go for it. The deck's not changed.
No.
At all. Still good. 4.5.
Wait,
4.5?
Oldham's really good.
You're not going to run Never Yield and Seasoned Savior and Blessing of Patience, no? Or Reinforced Steel, mate?
No.
You're not running all the shield bashes and shield walls and withstands and all that sort of nonsense?
Nope.
No, fair enough.
Nope.
I think he's a 4.
We tried. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's fair and reasonable.
Rhinar.
Shit.
Sorry, Liam. Why don't you tell us what you really think?
Would you like to elaborate slightly?
Like, you don't come here for a fucking, like, I'm not giving it soft opinions and shit. I'm saying as it is. People that listen for that,
Yeah, but it's more just actually
Oh,
elaborate on why.
It's just copium. They're always high on copium. It's
I
a
mean,
bad
I'm not.
deck. And,
I'm not sure people are coming here for insights, but we might as well try,
That's
Liam.
also true, right? Exactly. I think the deck's like very mid, right? It's not shit because I'm obviously being an idiot and whining people that actually listen locally, like brute players. But it's mid, but it just relies. It's got no on hits. It's like it's just designed to try and kill you on like 3 big turns with the Blood Rush Bells turns. So Blood Rush Bells is a fucking great card. Berserk turns into like essentially like a combo deck, right?
Mhm.
So
Basically.
yeah, so it's flying on combo pieces. Medium deck. 2. Maybe.
Wow, that's rough. I think that's a bit rough for right now.
I mean, it's
I
what,
could-
like they want to call in our nationals, right? Like ever.
Yeah, I don't think it's far off correct. But yeah,
I'd given it
I'd have gone to a 3
2.5.
by all means.
3.
Yeah,
I don't think the deck's terrible. I think it got some reasonable stuff.
2.5. It can always catch you out, but I don't think it.
That's fair.
I don't think it's ever. It's
Yeah, I
literally
mean, it can
definition.
hire all right, but
Well,
it's not gonna
literally,
deliver
it's
deck.
kind of what it's supposed to do, but and it does its big turns. You've got no hand, you can't block, and you get slapped.
Yeah, 2.5 is probably fairer.
I'll go for a 2.3. I'll up it a little bit.
Wow, you generous man.
2.3.
You kind of restrict the scales when you go from 0 to 5.
I know. I'm not sure why he started with 0 to
'Cause he
5. We
thinks
didn't
he's
discuss this beforehand. It's all
yeah,
on Brooks.
he thinks he's the boss, doesn't he? So
I'd love to disagree with him, to be honest, but he does do all the work.
that is also true.
And he will be getting a lift to the PQ on the Sunday. Oh, over most January. Driver and boss. On to Sir Bolton, which is why I didn't come high up.
Again, Liam, care to elaborate slightly?
I mean, it was a bad deck beforehand.
Okay.
It got a singular card.
Yep.
That made it like 2% better. So it's still shit.
Honestly, I can't really disagree.
If there's flaws in my logic, please elaborate.
I mean, I'm not going to say there's any flaw in your logic there. My point more is, again, let's try to give some amount of reasoning other than it's shit.
No. It's not it shit. It's just shit.
Shit. Oh, sorry.
Don't give him the extra word at the start. It's just solitary word. One word reviews with Liam Holden.
Do you pay him by the word count or something?
Well, you get paid.
Liam, you're not allowed to use more than one word. That's it. We can't. There's no money in the budget because we don't make any money. So you can only use one word. Shit. Hold him. Good. Bolton. Shit.
Oh dear. Anyway, but going back to it, yes, it got Spirit of Arena. That's a good card, but it's one of in a deck. You have to either get lucky and find it, or you have to use it one of your beacons. Deck's bad. It's so inconsistent. And half the time you die before you can actually do the combo anyway these days because decks are too fast. It's still a 1.
You giving Bolton a 1 overall?
Yes.
Damn. Okay. I mean, yeah. I think that's not too far off. I don't want to dally on this one too much. To be fair, Spirit of Arena is very good, but it doesn't fix all the problems in Bolton.
I'd argue it doesn't really fix any of the problems in Bolton.
No, because that's the 65 shit cards.
Yeah, it definitely solves at least one problem, right? In that you don't now need a source of go again on the turn. You don't need to run Snapdragon Scalers for it.
No, you can now run. You can now actually hit them with Beacon if you get to the chance of doing your turn, and you now do it with either Vanguard and you Beacon to go and get the Spirit, and you can then play Luminous. Yeah, you can get like an extra +1.
I mean, +1 across all the attacks,
across
right?
your 6 swings.
Which is very good value.
Yeah. But if you get your 2 Luminas before you found it, you're not going to wait for it.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think we're all fairly in agreement
Yeah.
on that one.
So
moving on.
In fact, I'll do a hold, and I'll be generous. You can have a 1.3.
Wow.
Yeah, being bold.
I'm so glad we're on a 0 to 5 scale.
Yeah.
Blame folks.
Well, whatever scale we picked, it's going to start slowly descending into chaos. And it's our last hero, Viserai. Stunned silence in the crowd.
I mean, this try is like he's all right. He's a decent deck. I think he's not as good as Briar, but just operates on a basically what I was doing at Pro Tour Leo, right? I don't think the deck's changed very much. It's just play Northern Skies, play Shrill, play Rosetta, block where you can, do stupid terms with Mordred Tides and Rebels, and win your games that
Yeah.
way. I don't think much hasn't changed. I don't think much is going to change.
I think
the general formula hasn't changed at all.
It might run Looming Doom.
I think Looming Doom and Deathly Duet are both solid cards.
Like Looming Doom's a blue block 3, right? But
yeah,
I think overall it doesn't like you have to give up. So you're giving up a Rosetta Swing after a Revel to do anything remotely relevant with Looming Doom.
Yeah.
Or take a turn off to play the Looming Doom, and it ain't worth it. You might as well stick to the tempo plan of more Shrill Rosetta, and that way.
I mean, I think like we covered when we first looked at the set, right? I think the vast majority of cards in this set seem like they're more focused to a more build-up rune chance sort of Viserai, one that wants to play a slightly longer game, or at least take turns that they don't maybe attack so much. I think some of the cards are still useful outside of that, but I don't think the deck has changed a huge amount. I mean, some of the cards are just bad.
And I still love the art on Looming Doom when it's like Solana with a huge demon behind it. But
I think definitely Duet's a good card.
I like to say, I think that's very good.
That's a very good card.
Though I still can't get my head around why in the world, hey LSS, why are you printing Aether Slash?
You mean
I'm not
You mean bad singeing Steelblade?
Exactly, right? Like, why are you printing in a supplementary set? So there's no reason to have draft like fodder. You print the worst version of a card that doesn't make most people's decks in outside of draft.
I mean, it does 1 Arcane to any target.
Only if you fulfill the condition.
I know.
George sounds like really angry about that one.
Yeah,
I just don't. I mean, I don't even play Roomlet. I don't really care. I'm quite glad for him to get shit, but I just don't understand why they've printed this card. It's so bad.
Yeah, it doesn't strike me as. I don't think you're gonna play. If you're going to play in Runeblade, you're playing Briar, and then you can kiss her goodbye.
I'll give Viserai a 3.
2.5.
I think a 3 is very fair. I don't think the deck has changed a lot, so I don't think it's bad by any means. So I think 2.5 is a bit harsh.
It is.
I don't like anything that can do arcane. I don't like, so it's always
I think
get marked down.
Three and upwards is where I'm more looking for it, because honestly the playline, Liam said, the playlines haven't changed, and Morph Skies into Shrill is just fantastic. And now you've just got your Shrill that gets replaced occasionally with Deathly Duet, because it looks at basically a very similar kind of return for what you're getting on that.
Yeah, and you either get 2 rune chance or like a +2, right? So you get them in
exactly. And if you get both, great. It's basically then a 2 for 8 value.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, obviously, you get the rune chant of playing it because you presumably played something before it. But yeah, I think I don't think the deck has really changed, so I don't see why it would be bad.
Yeah, well, I'm probably being harsh on it, but that's because I don't like Runeblades. If it can do arcane, I'm not a fan. So
you wait till they give you a sword that does it on here.
Yeah. The fact they've said, and this is my excellent segue into our rampant speculation. They've said there is no arcane in the next set, and that makes me so happy. Means Liam might do well in draft.
True.
Actual and factual.
That is possible.
So yeah, I mean, I think it is. I mean, are we happy to jump into rampant speculation, or any last bits on Dynasty?
I'm down to jump into Outsiders.
So we got.
But I mean, I don't want to follow on from your no arcane. I'm sort of heartbroken over Outsiders already that this means we're not going to get a ranger in theory, because we've been told they're all going to have weapons. Like they're actually you're going to be able to hit people with weapons. Presumably no bows, no attack with dragons or anything like that.
You've got enough bows, mate. You can have a ranger. This might be a ranger with a dagger.
Maybe
can't use any arrows.
Thing, but like that would be very bad.
I'm not seeing them say that. I've heard that it's pretty much confirmed there's 4 heroes now as well.
Yes, I do believe so.
But we know it's releasing on the 24th of March. Pre-releases in stores worldwide 17th to 20th that week. Well, the weekend before. The fact it said that, do you think they'll still be doing world premiere events? I assume so.
Well, we've actually already got the retailer information has already been released for the in-store premiere events. They haven't said about what the pricing is for probably obvious reasons. It's probably going to contain like stuff about the set, and yeah, exactly. But I noticed that had gone up a little while back, so there'll definitely be some sort of events, and yeah, obviously we're a long way out yet. Everything.
So I think just doing this as a series of quick fire questions. So if we're getting 4 classes, what 4 classes do you think we're going to see? Considering it's based in the pits, that little grungy area beneath Metrics that makes me think of Arcane and the Under and Over City a lot.
Brute, Assassin, Mech, Pirate.
Oh, new class.
Oh, going Pirate. Bloody hell, that's out there.
George?
What, for the classes that are in it?
Yeah.
Go on then. Assassin, obviously. We'll go with Mech as well, because I'm sure you're going to have some bleed over from Metrics. Fuck. I don't want to say Brute. I don't know. It just doesn't really feel like it massively fits. This is my trouble now. I'm trying to find 4 with, that are likely to have weapons. Maybe we'll get a warrior again, but I suppose it's been a while, really. So yeah, maybe we'll go mech, warrior, assassin, and fuck it. We'll just chuck brute in for good measure. Why not? Yeah. I don't think it necessarily fits.
I'm going brute. I'm going assassin. I'm going ranger. And I'm going mech.
I so want there to be a ranger in the set. I really do, particularly with their return to. I mean, maybe it'll be more because obviously we'll get a supplementary set that I think will be based around the pits and metrics after this. Maybe that'll be where we'll see our ranger instead.
Maybe I can see them doing something with a ranger. I think like a reprint of Azalea. Maybe she has something on her hero text which can do something slightly different and attack.
Honestly, they really need to reprint Azalea because that's the main problem with her. Is nothing combos with her hero ability particularly well. Yeah, I'd love to see a reprint of her at some point with a thought out.
No love for merchants in this. It's from the 3 of us. Obviously, the only other character who's actually already got a Pits border is Cavdeen.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see a merchant.
I hope not. I'll be really sad. That's not something you want to pull.
Like I say, also I think with them supposedly going for like more melee focused builds and everything else, it's like the other things that are in the book, right? Like that come to mind. They tend to be. I would imagine they would have more lean into the kind of the Dromai style of thing where you don't have a weapon and something else attacks, or you know like an alchemist or something like that. You don't really foresee them having a weapon necessarily. They'd be a bit less combat focused. So. I don't know, it'd be interesting to see what we get.
Alchemist appears a lot in the lore because obviously there's a lot of very sick people down there on the basis that they've all been poisoned. But I think there'll be a lot of contract stuff, a lot of which appears in the forms of cards. So I think obviously it fits with Assassin. It kind of makes sense to sort of put them in a little bit, and it also means you can dilute the power a little bit coming into this set for the draft stuff as well. That we can print some of the really powerful cards in Dynasty, like they Leave No Witnesses, Eradicates, and Surgicals, and a little bit more vanilla, but still builds into Arachne without draft getting absolutely screwed. What do you think? Will we get a returning talent, or do we get new talents?
I think you're going to have to get new, right? Talents have always been linked to the region that they're from. So unless we, and particularly in the drafts, unless we get something like we got for Uprising, where they went through the whole thing of the lore of getting Icelander from Arya to Volcor and why she was there. Unless we get something like that again, I don't see them bringing in talents from other regions. I think we're going to have to find out what the talent would actually be for Metrics and Pits.
Liam?
Agreed.
Again, he really doesn't want to get paid by the word, does he?
Man is concise.
I think we'll get a new one. What it'll be based around, God knows. There's loads. I thought it'd be more like skullduggery because that word's appeared a few times in the lore and also in the release article. So whether there's something around that, but who knows? Some sort.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what it ends up being and what it ends up like interacting with, because I'm sure it'll be mechanically very different. And I mean, who knows what the word actually is going to be, like you say, whether it be skullduggery, whether it be something else.
I don't think it's skullduggery. It's just too long to print as a keyword.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, you say that they managed to fit all of it in the Emperor's text hero, box.
That's also
so
true.
if they can get Royal Young Warrior Wizard,
Royal
Draconic Warrior Wizard, yeah. I think they can just about manage anything.
Yeah, but I think it'll be something a bit like contracts. It'll be something because there's so much like gang warfare down there. Maybe it might be faction based.
I'd be surprised if you see contracts outside of the assassin stuff. That seems like such a niche, part that's tied to assassin that they've with this set. So I'd be surprised if that ends up being.
I'd love it if they did
somewhere else.
I'd love it if they did something that was like gang focused. That there's almost affinities. So a bit like how they did the elements, and you had ice, you had lightning. You could obviously build from two of them. If there was types of gangs and they've got different stuff, because again there's a lot of gang warfare down there, but this is rampant speculation.
I really like that one on the whole. I think that would be quite good, and I think now because we've kind of not really got confirmation, but though it's very much looking like this is a pits focused set, not what everyone thought that it was going to be a pits / metric.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I think now we've got just the pits instead. Maybe that is more possible that we get some sort of, like you say, some kind of affiliation to whatever the gangs are instead, being some sort of talent.
Yeah. And then last question: do we get Chain and Prism this set?
No,
they'll be supplementary. I think they wouldn't fit in here.
I've got a feeling they were. At one point, I thought they might actually just do a reprint of, or something to do with him as he is now an outsider in terms of the LL system. But I think it'll be the supplemental for that.
I would very much hope so. I'd be disappointed to see him in this because it would absolutely screw with the talent system. Because presumably we're going to get like a shadow and light kind of hero as well, and I'd imagine they'll be printed in a supplementary instead of in a draft set, because that would completely screw up the draft format.
I think when they come to it, I'm not sure they're going to do. I mean, whether they do light and shadow again. The reason that both of their card pools are crap and so small is that it was split. I don't think it wasn't a particularly good draft format. I don't think, from what I don't particularly enjoy it outside of when we did stupid drafts, but
I mean, you say that, then if that's the case, I'm not sure how else they're going to do it, because Arya was obviously quite experimental in the way that you had them all. I think it in some way was the best in terms of the way they did the talents, where all of them shared kind of one talent, one element between the three of them, between each one. I really liked that, but I mean, obviously we know we're going to be moving into a 4-hero format, and I think that's going to be their way. They're going to try and go with it. So yeah, I don't know how you do that apart from just like dividing them, have 2 of one talent, 2 of the other, because otherwise you end up with a lot of cards that just don't sit between.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just I really don't like. I think you look at all the talent pools, light and shadow have always stood out to me as by far and away the weakest.
I just think that's because mainly they're just bad cards, and I think that's partly because you ended up with those being the quote unquote generics of the set, right? Like a bit like the elemental cards in Aria that are pretty shit. But it just ended up being a bigger part of their card pools. And I mean, I suppose also you're approaching this somewhat from a Bolton perspective, in which he doesn't really have the good light warrior cards to back him up, unlike the stuff that Prism does, in which he just has amazingly like overrate light illusionist stuff. That means she doesn't really care that the light cards on the whole are pretty crap.
Yeah, it's there's only ever been like 2 or 3 from Shadow and from Light that I've ever actually seen any play. You look at like Soul Shield, Tome of Divinity. In Shadow, it was Shadow Puppetry.
Yeah, Celestial Cataclysm as well.
Oh yeah, Cataclysm.
Mm-hmm.
What was the +3 recursion blood debt action for
Howl from Beyond?
Howl, yeah.
Yeah, Howl and Ghostly. Were kind of the 3 Shadow ones that really saw play. So, there's a whole raft of stuff that just doesn't see. It hasn't, and probably won't see any play.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't think that's a reason to not go back to like a 2-talent system, though.
Yeah.
I just think that's there's a lot of cards, like you're saying there, that aren't necessarily that good, outside of the few outliers for each that we kind of just covered some of.
Yeah. That's fair. I just wondering if they'd actually just go back and they want to readdress that by giving them their own sets, like Elemental had its own set, but like you say, it was split between the 3 essences.
I'm just not sure I'm not sure you'd ever want to go and do just one of them. Would you really ever want a completely shadow set? To have like 4 shadow heroes in one set would be a lot, particularly interaction with the Banish Zone.
Yeah.
With all of them doing that, I don't know. I'm not sure. Not sure that's what I'd want to necessarily see.
It'd be a terrible format for Arachne. Yeah, I'll banish more of your cards. Yes, you can. Thank you. Thank you.
Either that would be really good because the game would be over incredibly quickly. Who knows?
Yeah, it's like at the end of the game, right? I'll hit you for Eradicate for 6. Well, you haven't got any deck anyway, so just hit you for 6.
Yes, but you're also out of. Your deck is also gone. Good luck.
Yeah, well, they can play everything out of the Banish Zone, so it's like, well, actually, I've still got my deck. You just can't touch it now. But then they're taking loads of blood debt. But this, like I say, I think I've always liked the pits and metrics as like the juxtaposition between the two and the art style, because it's very steampunky. Like even the art, I think it's Wreak Havoc. I think it's called, or Wreaking Havoc. She's got like a teapot flamethrower looking things and pirate flags and big fat cigars and stuff. So, we're going off one picture at the end of the day, but that's what rampant speculation's all about.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't got anything to go off yet, have we? Really?
No, but that's why Liam likes doing these sections. I mean, he was begging me in the car to do speculation in this.
Oh, you're such a fucking moron.
Look,
you said rampant speculation like 15 times this podcast.
This is a new buzzword. That's all it is, mate.
It's just fucking winding me up. So I hate speculation.
So, speaking of speculation, do you think we'll? So obviously we should be due a supplementary set after this one. Do we think this will be entirely focused on the pits after this? Think you'll get a pits focused? Because obviously we're moving into the kind of the new format now of we'll get one, unless I'm wrong, one draft set, then a supplementary, and then alternating constantly between the two.
I don't think we are getting that. I think because they want to move to doing 3 draft a year.
Yeah, but it will be, right? Because it'll be one draft at the start of the year, then it'll be a supplementary, then a draft at the end of the year. Is that not the way that's working?
So this year it's going to be supplementary draft. I think it was in his interview with
Fluke.
Was it with Fluke or Fluke or Flake?
Fluke
Change the file. Yeah, it was Fluke and Box where
okay.
I think that he said they want to eventually move to 4 sets a year, which is 3 draft and supplementary.
That'll be nice at least if that ends up being the case.
So I think they've taken on the feedback that obviously the Uprising draft format has been around probably slightly longer than some people would have wanted it to. I know some people enjoy it. I know Liam's a big fan of it.
Fuck off.
Make a catchphrase out of that, Liam.
He talks all the shit.
I know, that's why we do a podcast.
I know, but you don't have to talk shit while talking more. You're talking like shit on top of shit. Like just
Like the onion of shit.
yes.
Slayers.
Anyway, slightly
Yes.
back to topic.
But yeah, I think I could imagine the supplementary set being a split thematically between metrics and the pits, which then gives them then the room to go into whether it's a metric set next or whether they do something completely different. I think it should be metrics.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if we were anywhere other than metrics after this.
Yeah. But they are obviously trying to put in a lot more story. So how they manage that, I mean, we're still due quite a bit of lore from Dynasty in terms of the rest of Arachne's story and what's gone there, and I think that will come out in Outsiders because obviously, as we can see in the wonderful Christmas promo, Shitty Christmas Present, Arachne's obviously climbing back through the window as Azalea's receiving her socks from the other assassins. So whether that's where we hear about more of what happened, I don't know. But I think we haven't had a lore article since that, so it's been a while.
No, I don't think so. I mean, maybe that's also why we're hearing about some of this slightly earlier. I do wonder whether we'll get a significant drop of lore before. I imagine they'll give themselves some time to do that before the set release, obviously in March. So be interested to see what storyline they go with as well with the pits in general.
Yeah, it's a place where there's a lot of stuff they can lean into, and a lot of it will come down to the talent. A lot will come down to the characters they want to support. I don't think it'll be Arachne. I think it'll be a different assassin. We see quite a few in the crowd art. We see the one in the white-haired one in Leave No Witnesses. There's the one with blue hair who's in Shitty Christmas Present and in Cut to the Chase. So I think there's obviously a lot of characters as well that they can actually cover off in that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we get a different assassin as well. To be fair, and it'd be interesting to see if we do. No, I think that's reasonable. But like I say, it'd be nice to see what the storyline will be. But we've got a long time to wait until that'll come out.
We do, and I think we've got a couple of PQs between now and then to keep us mildly entertained.
And a battle hardened.
We do. Never mind our elusive calling before the end of the year.
Yeah, well, what do you mean call before the end of the year? They never promised us one of those. Only publicly said it.
It's happening. I believe they'd never lie to us.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be very last minute organising it, but
yeah, clearly not happening. Hopefully we'll actually hear something about that at some point because it'd be nice to just hear that maybe they're pushing it back. Maybe we'll get one in the new year for the UK because obviously, like I say, we haven't had one yet. But here's hoping.
Yeah, fingers crossed, and yeah, I think we'll probably get one more episode in before Christmas and do a bit of a review of this year. We've had a few adventures, so it's probably worth just covering that off and what Liam can tell us what his resolution is for next year.
Why do I choose you as friends?
That's a question you seem to ask yourself a lot, mate.
Yeah. I'm still not found a fucking answer to either.
Until that point, he keeps turning up, so we might as well use his one-word answers while we can.
If you listen to this, maybe you can enlighten Liam as to why he chooses us for friends.
I think it's because we drive in places. Maybe that's
it. You just use us for access to Fab. Is that what it is? If he drove, maybe you just wouldn't need us at all.
Yeah, maybe that's it. He just wants a chauffeur service.
I can drive.
Yeah, we're just a cheap Uber. That's all it is.
That's all it is. Shit. Didn't realise we're getting played like this.
We are.
We need to get a better return than one-word answers. If that's the case, we need to demand more from him.
Yeah. Anyway, I think we've covered everything off. Unless, gentlemen, there's anything you particularly want to add before we say bye to the three people still out there listening at this stage.
No, I think I'm all good. Thank you very much for getting to the end of this somehow.
Yeah, it's not as bad as some of our previous ones in terms of our ranting. So, but no, I think we definitely can call it there. So, Liam, George, as ever, a pleasure.
Always.
And for everyone listening, thank you very much, and we shall catch you on the next one, potentially with video. Bye, guys.
Bye.